The CRO token went absolutely parabolic after the news of Trump Media starting the $6.42 billion CRO Treasury. But what if I told you that this is just the beginning? Well guys, I would say let's strap in and let's find out. Here on the channel, we've been tracking the CRO token for years at this point, but parabolic moves like this over here do even surprise us. But basically the whole crypto market was surprised with the latest announcements by Crypto.com. The Trump Media CRO strategy, a treasury company specifically made for the CRO token, and definitely not a small one, because $6.42 billion to acquire and hold more CRO tokens. During an AMA in April earlier this year, Chris Marszalek, the CEO of Crypto.com, was already talking about treasury companies like here Strategy by Michael Saylor, because you can see that these companies have been wildly successful, but it has also been very beneficial for Bitcoin because companies like this have constant buy pressure on the actual supply. And also typically they don't like to sell their Bitcoin. Instead, they hold their Bitcoin and use it as collateral to get even more loans to buy more Bitcoin. And now we're going to get a similar play for the CRO token. In theory, this is very, very bullish for the CRO token, but it all depends on the actual execution. So we're going to read a bit more interesting details here in the press release. You can find the link to this article in the description down below. And while you're there, please don't forget to hit the like button and of course also subscribe for more videos. Anyways, let's continue with the interesting details down below, because this treasury company is actually a combination of 3 different companies. We got Yorkville, Trump Media, and also Crypto.com. And Yorkville is a relatively unknown company, more about that later. Trump Media, of course, related to President Trump, and Crypto.com is the founder of the CRO token. And Trump Media and Crypto.com have been working a lot together. For example, Crypto.com is the custodian of the Bitcoin treasury of Trump Media, and also together they have been creating ETFs for Bitcoin and also the blue chip ETF, including also a little bit of CRO. Then we also got Yorkville. Well, Yorkville, importantly, is an acquisition corp. If you take a look at the Nasdaq, you can find already the Yorkville company, ticker York. And it is listed on the Nasdaq because previously this was an electric utilities corporation, but it no longer is. Now it is an acquisition corp. Basically, it's an empty shell. And that's very important, guys, because what they will be doing, currently it has the ticker York, but you can read here in this little press release, they're going to rename York to MCGA, Make Cronos Great Again. Basically, this empty shell, its only purpose will be to buy, hold, and maybe in the future also sell the CRO token. And therefore, Yorkville is actually really important because it's already listed on the Nasdaq, so everyone can easily buy into the MCGA company, like you can also do now with Strategy or also any of the other treasury companies. In that regard, Yorkville is actually really important here in this business combination. But also it is listed on the Nasdaq, so it does need to listen to the rules of regulators and also the SEC. So the change from York to MCGA has not been approved yet, and therefore this whole business combination is not really yet live. And it's really important for the next part because you can read in the headlines $6.42 billion for this CRO treasury. That is, by the way, quite huge because the market cap of CRO is only about 10 billion in total as of right now, after already quite a big pump. That 6 billion figure number though does exist out of multiple fundings. So you can see here in the details, 1 billion of that does exist in CRO in their current treasury wallet. So they have currently 6 billion CRO, give or take. 6 billion CRO, by the way, is almost 90% of the total CRO in current circulation, which is quite huge. Next to that 1 billion, they also have about $200 million in cash to buy more CRO and 220 million of cash in mandatory exercise warrants. Yeah, this is actually very expensive language to say, well, you can actually buy CRO at a predetermined price, but it is also mandatory. So I do expect, ladies and gentlemen, they have, of course, made a deal before the press release, and then CRO was trading at about 15, 16 cents. So probably they have a predetermined deal to buy CRO at about 15 cents. Next to that, though, they also have about $5 billion of equity line in credit. So this is also very important, guys. This is a lot of money, 5 billion, but this is very much akin to a loan because it is credit. In total, though, 1 billion, 200 million, 220 million, and 5 billion. That totals to 6.42 billion. So that, guys, is coming to CRO. And this is the kicker. Many people, many YouTubers get this wrong. Because the company is not yet approved by the SEC, there haven't been any purchases yet with the 200 million or with the 220 or with the 5 billion equity line. So once we do get approval, then also we get the start signal to start buying more with their war chest. So currently, if you take a look at CRO, it is trading at about 31 cents. But once you start buying, it can go up even more thanks to the buying pressure of this treasury company. So guys, this is actually what many people are waiting for still. When is this going live, and when can we see the first or part really of them buying more CRO? And this is also very important. Not only buying CRO, it is also holding on to their bought CRO. And there down below in this release, they also talk about something very important, a mandatory 1-year initial lockup period. So what this means, guys, they will be locking up their CRO for at least 1 year. So no sell pressure at all for 1 year. And additionally, there's a 3-year restrictive release schedule. So over the next 3 years, they will slowly be releasing maybe more CRO if they want to sell. Overall, though, for this bull market like this year, 2025, that means no sell pressure at all thanks to this CRO treasury company. And that is absolutely huge. Going back, though, to the funding, Chris on X also made a post about a few different scenarios. He's talking about the CRO price performance in 2026. So I do kind of think he's hinting towards a potential go live near the end of 2025. We're talking about 3 scenarios. So 200 million, 420 million, and also 5.42 billion of cash plus the rest. Basically, guys, it is something like this. Once they deploy the cash, that's going to be great. Once it's cash and warrants, it's great. But if they really are going to use all of the credit and maybe even loan more in the future, because that's definitely possible with the collateral, it's going to be a potential price explosion. And if you take a look really at the chart for CRO, I've got a rainbow chart available. So if you don't know this, definitely check out my channel by subscribing and hitting that like button. What you can see here clearly is that CRO is very, very undervalued still. If you take a look at the previous high, we're still about, what is it? About 60% below the previous all-time high. And according to the rainbow chart, we're also still undervalued. Or blue line here, that's a fair value zone. And everything above, that might be the bubble territory. So maybe, thanks to that additional credit, we might get into the high levels even of the red bubble zone here. So guys, there's a lot more potential for CRO to go even higher. So things look quite green. To come to a conclusion though, the thing that's mainly driving the price now for CRO isn't even yet the actual Trump media treasury. No, it is still only hype and speculation of what this actual company is still going to do. So that is actually quite exciting because we're already at about 30 cents. So while we can go, I think the sky is so far still the limit. In the future, we're going to talk also about some other things that have been announced. For example, the Cronos roadmap and also the utility token really for TrueFi. But more about that, guys, in a future video. If you have any questions, though, I am, of course, open to answer those in the comments down below. So don't forget to ask those while you're here. Having said that, guys, I also have some different videos about CRO, for example, about the exit strategies. So check that one out as well.